Battle for the Land of Waves. Training clearing. On the third day of their training, Naruto and Sasuke had gone back to the forest so they could try sparring in a different environment. They chose to go back to the clearing they were using before because of the trees. They could adapt their tree climbing abilities to be used in a fight. They had been sparring for a few hours now, and it was really late. By this point, they were too tired to keep their Sharingan active, and punched each other one more time before passing out in the clearing. After a couple hours, a girl entered the clearing and noticed the two boys passed out on the ground. She walked up to them and paused for a moment before waking the pair up. Naruto started, and rubbed his eyes to clear up his vision. He looked over at Sasuke first, who was also rubbing his eyes, and then up at the girl who woke them up. "Oh, hey miss. Who are you?" Sasuke asked, narrowing his eyes at the girl. The girl turned to look at Sasuke, and gave him a smile. "My name is Haku. What are you two doing sleeping out here?" she asked them. Naruto grinned at the girl. "My name's Naruto, and he's Sasuke. We were out here training," he told her, and Sasuke's eye twitched. "Idiot. Don't just go around telling random people who we are," Sasuke told him, gritting his teeth. Naruto looked at Sasuke, confused. "Why not?" she asked and told us her name. Naruto asked him, and Sasuke just face-palmed. "Never mind," Sasuke grumbled. "No matter how much stronger you get, you're still you." Naruto just shrugged, and turned back to Haku. "So, what are you doing out here?" he asked, and Haku pointed to a basket of herbs. "My friend is injured. I'm collecting herbs that will help him get better," she told him, then looked at their forehead protectors. "Are you two shinobi?" she asked. Naruto nodded. "Yeah. We're here to dash." Naruto started, but Sasuke cut him off by covering his mouth. "Idiot. You can't go around telling people about shinobi business," Sasuke berated him, and uncovered his mouth. Naruto scratched the back of his head. "Yeah, I guess you're right," he said, and turned back to Haku. "Sorry, Sasuke's right. I'm not supposed to say anything." Haku gave him another smile. "It's all right," she told him. "So, do you have anyone precious to you?" she asked. Naruto just stared at her, confused. "Huh? Do you have anyone precious to you?" she asked him again. "I believe that a person can only become truly strong if their goal is to protect someone." Naruto looked at her for a few seconds, and then looked over at Sasuke, and smiled. Not his usual grin, but a normal, genuine, smile, and then turned back to Haku. "Yeah. There's the old man, Kaka-sensei, Irika, Sakura." He turned took look at Sasuke again. "And Sasuke? He's like a brother to me, you know." Naruto finished, and turned back to Haku. Sasuke stared at Naruto, eyes wide. They'd been getting closer since he found out Naruto was an Uchiha. But he'd never considered having a brother again, not after what Itaka did. Haku turned to look at Sasuke. "So? How about you?" she asked, snapping Sasuke out of his thoughts. Sasuke stayed silent for a few more seconds, and then smiled, an actual smile, at Naruto. "Yeah. I see him as a brother, too. And I'd do anything to protect my family," Sasuke told Haku, before turning to Naruto with a smirk. "Even if he is an idiot." Haku laughed at that, and Naruto glared at him. "Every time," Naruto shouted, and Sasuke laughed. Haku got up and grabbed her basket. "Well, I've got to get going. It seems you two will be truly strong," she told them, and began walking away. Naruto waved at her. "Bye, Haku." Haku, right before leaving the clearing, turned around and looked at them with a smile. "By the way, I'm actually a boy," He told them, and left the clearing. Naruto and Sasuke just stared at each other, eyes wide. Huh? They shouted together. Tajuna's house. It had been a week since Kakashi had started to train the three genin, and all of them had made good progress. Kakashi taught Naruto the few wind jutsu he knew, and he taught both Naruto and Sasuke a few lightning jutsu. Sasuke took to the lightning jutsu faster than Naruto, as it's his main affinity, but Naruto started to learn how to intentionally cast genjutsu with his eyes. He hadn't started learning very advanced techniques yet, but he could now put people under subtle genjutsu mid-battle. Kakashi showed the pair a lot of the jutsu he'd learned over the years, but they were only able to master a few of them to a point where they could be used in battle. Sasuke also helped Naruto master the fireball jutsu because, even if it wasn't their natural affinity, it was still a signature of the Uchiha clan. Sakura had moved on from tree walking to water walking, as Kakashi decided that her chakra reserves were finally at a level where she could effectively walk on water. Currently, Naruto and Sasuke were working on combining Sasuke's fireball with one of Naruto's wind-style jutsu, Great Breakthrough. Sakura was running across the water to increase her stamina and chakra reserves. She still wasn't anywhere near the level of her teammates, and she'll most likely never catch up to their chakra reserves, but she was finally at a level where she wouldn't be absolutely helpless in a fight. Kakashi, who was finally back at full health, walked up to where the three genin were training. They were just outside of Tajuna's house, with Naruto and Sasuke on the dock, aiming their combo attack out over the water. Sakura was running around the dock, but avoiding where the boys were attacking. Over the course of the week they had taken turns guarding Tajuna, but now they were expecting Zabuza to attack again soon. Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura. Kakashi called out, catching their attention. Naruto and Sasuke, who were in the middle of another combo attack, lost their focus and the attack backfired on them, throwing them back. Sakura just ran up to where Kakashi was, used to their occasional backfires. Kaka-sensei! Naruto cried out, while he and Sasuke got up and dusted off their clothes. You made us mess up. Ma, Naruto. Don't be so loud. You're both fine, and I came here to tell you three that, since Zabuza should be recovered soon, all three of us will be guarding Tajuna from now on. Kakashi told them. Sakura tensed up at that, but Naruto and Sasuke had an air of anticipation around them. Naruto grinned at Kakashi. We'll definitely stop Zabuza, believe it? Sasuke smirked with Naruto. What the idiot said. Sakura looked around at Tajuna's house. What if Gato sends someone here? Shouldn't one of us stay to protect Inari and Ms. Tsunami? She asked Kakashi. Kakashi looked at her thoughtfully, then looked at Naruto. Sakura makes a good point. You should leave a few shadow clones here. Kakashi told Naruto, who held up a sign. Shadow clone jutsu! He exclaimed, and a dozen Naruto clones popped up around them, some on the water. This should be good, right? Naruto asked, and Kakashi nodded. Sasuke looked at the clones, and then looked at Kakashi. What if Gato sends ninja here? Would shadow clones be enough to deal with them? Sasuke asked. Kakashi shook his head. Zabuza knows that we're the bigger threat. I doubt Gato would send anything more than some thugs to deal with Inari and Tsunami. Plus, Naruto can just tell us if any of the clones get dispelled. Kakashi explained. Naruto looked at him, confused. How would I be able to know if they're dispelled? Naruto asked Kakashi, whose sweat dropped. You really haven't noticed? Kakashi asked, and Naruto just continued looking at him with confusion. You get the memories of your shadow clones. Kakashi told him, and Naruto's eyes widened. Sasuke just stared at Naruto. You've been spamming shadow clones for weeks. And you never noticed. Sasuke deadpanned. All of the Narutos chuckled and scratched the back of their head. Well, I mainly just spam them for a fight and then they get dispelled so they don't have many memories to give. The real Naruto explained. I totally would have noticed. Eventually. Sasuke sighed. Sure you would. Kakashi coughed. Anyways, we should get going. Naruto clones, hide around the house. He told them. The Naruto clones all stood at attention and gave a mock salute. I. The clones shouted in unison, and disappeared. Alright, well, let's go get Tajuna and head to the bridge. Kakashi told his team, and they headed off to find Tajuna. Later, the bridge. Tajuna, Kakashi, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura all walked up to the bridge, and were greeted by the sight of all the workers groaning on the ground. He's here. Sakura, protect Tajuna. Naruto, Sasuke, get ready. Kakashi told his team, and uncovered his 3 Tomo Sharingan. As Naruto and Sasuke activated their 2 Tomo Sharingan, a chakra-filled mist came over the area. What was that you said about my final battle, Kakashi? A voice asked from the mist, and walked forward, revealing himself to be Zabuza. He was unleashing killing intent, causing Sakura to shake, but Naruto and Sasuke were able to resist it this time. The fake hunter ninja was beside Zabuza, still wearing his mask. Go deal with the Uchiha brats. Zabuza instructed the masked ninja, Haku. Yes, Lord Zabuza. Haku replied, and approached the 2 Uchiha. Naruto and Sasuke shared a look, and ran away from the others, making Haku follow behind them. Kakashi engaged Zabuza, and took him away from Tajuna, leaving Sakura to protect Tajuna from any stray attacks. With that, the battles began. Naruto and Sasuke came to a stop once they were far enough away, and Haku stopped in front of them. I am sorry for this. Haku told them, and prepared to fight. Naruto and Sasuke shared a look, and they both began to form signs. Fire style, fireball jutsu. Sasuke shouted. Wind style, great breakthrough. Naruto shouted, and the 2 jutsu combined, sending a massive fireball at Haku. Thanks to their Sharingan, Naruto and Sasuke were able to perfectly judge how much chakra to infuse into their attacks, so they combined perfectly. Naruto looked at Sasuke. Think that got him? He asked. Of course not, you idiot. Sasuke shouted back. When the smoke disappeared, they saw a wall of ice in front of Haku. Ah, man. Naruto groaned, and Sasuke fought the urge to punch him. The ice melted away, and Haku ran up to them and they engaged in a taijutsu battle. He attacked Sasuke first, who dodged and gave Naruto an opening to attack. When Naruto punched Haku, his fist was frozen before it could make contact, and Haku kicked him, sending him flying back. Sasuke, who knew Naruto would be fine from experience, engaged Haku in a one-on-one. Haku was faster naturally than Sasuke, but Sasuke's Sharingan allowed him to keep up. After about a minute of them fighting one-on-one, Naruto managed to shatter the ice covering his hand and return to the fight. Sasuke! Naruto shouted, and Sasuke fell back, letting Naruto step into the fight. Naruto engaged Haku in a one-on-one, but he stayed on the defensive, closely watching the eye slits of Haku's mask until they made eye contact. On Haku's end, he watched Naruto take on fox-like features. The pupil of his Sharingan became a slit, his whisker marks thickened, and he grew claws. Suddenly, Naruto was much faster than he was, and he was on the losing end now. What the dash Haku started, before realization dawned on him. He put his hands into a sign and shouted release. He broke through the genjutsu Naruto placed him under, just in time to dodge another combination attack from Naruto and Sasuke. Damn it! Naruto shouted when he noticed that Haku broke out of his genjutsu. I see now. It was foolish for me to try and engage 2 Sharingan users in hand-to-hand. I will have to do something else. Haku said, and raced through signs before Naruto or Sasuke had the chance to stop him. Demonic mirroring ice crystals. Haku shouted, and mirrors of ice began to appear around Naruto and Sasuke. Before Naruto and Sasuke could react, Haku disappeared into the mirrors. "The hell?" Naruto asked, and then Senbon of ice rained down on the two Uchiha. Naruto attack the dash Sasuke started, but was interrupted when he had to dodge a Kunao strike from Haku. It's useless to resist. Not even Zabuza can escape this technique. Haku told them, and attacked Naruto, who could barely get out of the way in time and ended up with a wound across his side. Naruto and Sasuke ran through hand signs as quickly as they could, and they unleashed another combination attack, this time aimed at the mirrors surrounding them. They prepared to escape the mirrors, and were shocked to see all they left was a few cracks, and the cracks were quickly fading. Haku took the chance to launch even more Senbon at the duo. Sasuke was hit in the back of his leg and Naruto was hit in his arm, but they both dodged enough to avoid the Senbon hitting anything major. Naruto and Sasuke ran through hand seals again, but this time they were forming the same ones. "Lightning release, lightning balls," they shouted together. Naruto unleashed more lightning balls because of his massive reserves, but Sasuke's were stronger thanks to lightning being his affinity. The balls all targeted one mirror, but the result was the same as before. "What can we do?" Naruto asked Sasuke, as the two of them dodged another rain of Senbon. "Try making some clones to shield us from some of these Senbon," Sasuke told him, and Naruto formed a seal and made 6 shadow clones, which covered them from all sides. "Okay, now dash," Sasuke started, but he was cut off when the Senbon started to rain down from directly above them. One of the Naruto clones jumped over them, shielding them from the Senbon before dispelling. This left one of the sides open, which Haku quickly took advantage of. "Damn it!" Sasuke shouted, and watched as another clone was dispelled by the Senbon. "Give up," Haku told them, his voice echoing around them. "I don't want to have to kill you. Give up the bridge builder and you and your comrades will be spared." "Like hell," Naruto yelled, and Sasuke watched the mirrors closely. "Tajuna did nothing wrong. How could you work for a man like Gato?" "I do as Zabuza commands," Haku told Naruto, and flew out of the mirror for another attack. This time, however, Sasuke saw him and rushed to intercept. Naruto, noticing this, followed Sasuke's example. They weren't able to land a defining blow, but they were both able to draw some blood from either side of Haku. "He only travels in straight lines," Sasuke thought, and glanced at Naruto. "Naruto, did you notice?" Sasuke asked him, and Naruto nodded. Haku watched the two Uchiha from his mirror. "This isn't good. They can see my movements because of their Sharingan. I need to finish this quickly," Haku thought, and launched more Senbon at them. Naruto and Sasuke dodged the Senbon, and they began running through hand signs again. Sasuke finished first, and unleashed a massive fireball at the direction the Senbon came from. Haku quickly left for another mirror, but Naruto was expecting this and unleashed a blade of wind. The blade of wind hit Haku's mask, which was cut in half and fell off, before he disappeared back into the mirrors. "I got dash," Naruto started, and then noticed Haku's face surrounding them. "Haku?" he asked, and Sasuke narrowed his eyes. "You were gathering herbs to heal Zabuza," Sasuke noted. Haku's reflection in all of the mirrors nodded. "Yes. Zabuza is my precious person," Haku told them, giving them a momentary break from the attacks. "I would do anything for him. I am his weapon dash." Naruto cut Haku off. "Why would you work with someone like him?" Naruto asked. "Does he even care about you?" "Whether or not he cares about me is irrelevant. He saved me and gave me purpose. Without him, I am nothing," Haku told him, and resumed attacking. Naruto, caught off guard, couldn't move fast enough to completely dodge the rain of senbon, and they hit his left leg. Ack! Naruto shouted, and quickly removed most of the senbon. Sasuke, seeing this, ran over to protect Naruto while he healed. Naruto, how long do you think it'll be before your leg is fine again? Sasuke asked, deflecting more senbon aimed at Naruto. Naruto looked down at his leg, and could tell that it was already mostly healed. I can move now, he told Sasuke, and glared at Haku's reflection in the mirrors. Haku! You're avoiding kill shots? Naruto shouted, surprising Sasuke. What? Sasuke asked. What makes you think that? Just now, I didn't have the chance to dodge, yet the senbon only hit my leg. Naruto told Sasuke, his gaze not leaving Haku's reflection in the mirror. You don't want to kill us, do you? Naruto asked. No. I don't want to kill you, Haku admitted. However, if you threaten to get in Zabuza's way, I will. Zabuza is just using you, Naruto shouted. He's a monster. If you don't stop us, we'll kill that monster. Naruto was cut off by an enormous amount of killing intent coming off of Haku. Don't insult Zabuza, Haku shouted, and sent more senbon at the duo than ever before. Naruto and Sasuke could only stand there as the hundreds of senbon flew at them, seeing no way out of the attack that flew at them from all sides. Then, as if magic, the world slowed down even further and they could see where the senbon would land. They could see the path that the senbon would travel, and both moved out of the way, dodging between the senbon. Once the rain of senbon stopped, they looked at each other and their eyes went wide. Both of their Sharingan now had a third tomo, and the world was clearer than ever before. However, before they could say anything, Haku lunged at Naruto from the mirror. Thanks to his newly evolved Sharingan, Naruto was able to see the attack before it could reach them and easily jumped over it. Sasuke, taking advantage of the opening, charged at Haku before he could make it to another mirror and tackled him to the ground. Sasuke punched Haku in the chest, knocking the wind out of him and causing his hold on the mirrors to fail, making them melt. Nice job, Sasuke, Naruto told him, and ran over to where Sasuke was holding Haku. How should we tie? Naruto started, but was cut off by an icy aura emanating from Haku. Naruto and Sasuke quickly jumped back, barely avoiding ice spikes that grew from Haku's body. Naruto! We have to kill him, Sasuke told Naruto. His ice is too dangerous, and we don't have any way to incapacitate him. He seems to be fanatically obsessed with Zabuza, leaving him alive will only create new problems, Sasuke explained, and Naruto frowned. I know, but... Naruto trailed off. Neither of them had killed before, but they both knew it was something they'd have to face eventually. Naruto just never expected it to be so soon, and never expected to have to kill a person like Haku. I know. If we don't kill him, he'll kill us and he'll kill Sakura. Naruto finished, and stared at Haku. Sasuke looked at Naruto for a moment, and quickly looked back to Haku. Alright. Let's go, Sasuke told Naruto, and the boys charged. Haku shot spikes of ice at them, but they were able to dodge, thanks to their Sharingan. Once they were closer, Naruto jumped towards Sasuke, who boosted him up above Haku. Naruto raced through hand signs before shouting fire style, fireball jutsu. Fire wasn't his affinity, and he hadn't practiced fire as much as Sasuke, but he was able to offset the difference by overloading it with his massive reserves. The fireball flew down at Haku, who barely had enough time to put up a shield of ice that was melted by the fireball, cancelling each other out. As Haku blocked the fireball aimed at him from above, Sasuke took the chance to charge at him with a kunai. Haku was barely able to dodge, and ended up with a deep cut across his side. Naruto, still in the air above Haku, flew at him and punched him in the head, sending Haku straight to the ground. Naruto and Sasuke quickly jumped back, expecting more ice spikes to fly at them, and were surprised when the spikes didn't come. Naruto and Sasuke both steadily approached Haku, prepared for another wave of ice spikes, when they heard a sound coming from the direction of Kakashi's fight with Zabuza. It sounded like 1,000 birds chirping, and they looked over to see lightning emanating from Kakashi's hand. Zabuza was being restrained by Kakashi's dogs, and Kakashi was charging at him with the hand covered by lightning. Haku, seeing this, attempted to get away from Naruto and Sasuke to use himself as a human shield for Zabuza. Naruto and Sasuke, thanks to their Sharingan, saw Haku's attempt to move and quickly threw two kunai at Haku's chest, stopping and killing him. The pair thought Haku was moving to kill Kakashi, and didn't realize he was attempting to save Zabuza. Over at Kakashi's battle with Zabuza, Kakashi shoved his lightning-covered hand into Zabuza's chest. The last thing Zabuza saw before his death was the two kunai piercing Haku's chest. Once Zabuza died, the mist over the bridge began to clear. Sakura and Tajuna could only listen to the sound of fighting. Sometimes they could see a jutsu that broke through the mist, but they weren't prepared for what they saw when the mist cleared. Kakashi was pulling his hand out of Zabuza's chest, and it was covered in blood. Naruto and Sasuke were both standing over Haku's body, who had two kunai stabbed into his chest. Tajuna was a little shaken by the sight, but relieved that the battle was over. Sakura, however, hadn't considered the possibility of her teammates and sensei having to kill their opponents. She just stared at them, eyes wide, and didn't notice the mob approaching the bridge. Naruto and Sasuke stared down at Haku's body, the sight burned into their memory due to their Sharingan. Sasuke looked at Naruto, who had tears welling up by his eyes. I was always prepared to kill someone eventually. But Naruto? Sasuke thought, and put his hand on Naruto's shoulder. Naruto wiped his eyes before the tears could fall, and looked at Sasuke. He opened his mouth to speak, but he was interrupted. Well. It appears the demon of the hidden mist wasn't all he was talked up to be. A voice came from where the bridge started, and everyone turned around to see a short man surrounded by gangsters with weapons. Gato. Kakashi stated, and Naruto glared at the new arrivals. You were the one who hired Zabuza and Haku? Naruto asked, three Tomo Sharingan spinning, rage dripping from his voice. Gato just laughed at them. Of course I am. And I came here to kill them to save money, but it looks like you all did my job for me. Guess I'll have to kill you all instead. Gato told them. Naruto began to walk towards Gato, and Sasuke followed close behind. You. We're going to kill them. They died for you. He yelled, and stopped when he was close enough to look into Gato's eyes, Sharingan still spinning. What's with these brats? Their eyes dash one of the thugs started, but he was interrupted by a scream coming from Gato. Ah! A monster! He's a demon! Gato screamed before passing out on the floor. The thugs all looked at Naruto with a mix of confusion and fear, until an arrow from behind landed in front of them. The thugs turned around to see a mass of villagers, all with various makeshift weapons, led by Inari with a crossbow. The thugs looked back and forth, between Naruto and the villagers, and then down at their unconscious leader. Some of them decided to just give up, while others tried to make a run for it. This left Naruto and Sasuke standing in front of Gato's unconscious form, Kakashi, Tajuna, and Sakura all walking up to the duo. Sakura stayed back a bit, unsure of what to say to them. I was completely useless here. They had to kill someone, and all I did was guard Tajuna. If I was better, maybe I could have helped them. She thought, and watched them with uncertainty. Kakashi approached them, his Sharingan already recovered by his forehead protector. They had to kill someone on their first time out of the village. Minato-sensei would hate that they had to do this. Kakashi thought, and put a hand on both of their shoulders. Naruto, Sasuke, I'm sorry you had to dash. Kakashi started to tell them, but Naruto cut him off. Kaka-sensei, it's alright. If we didn't kill him, he would have killed you. Naruto said, and brought out another kunai. Naruto kneeled beside Gato, kunai in hand, and looked up at Kakashi. Gato is just unconscious, he isn't dead. Should we kill him? Naruto asked. His voice was emotionless and his Sharingan were still active, but Kakashi could see that he didn't really want to do it. Kakashi shook his head. No, I'll send a messenger to the Hokage and ask for him to send someone to take Gato back to the village for interrogation. We can interrogate him and use him to disable his businesses and help the Land of Waves. Kakashi told him, and Naruto put his kunai up. Alright, Kaka-sensei. Naruto got up and deactivated his Sharingan, before walking back over to Haku's body. Sasuke followed him to Haku's body, and deactivated his Sharingan. Naruto stayed silent for a few seconds, then looked at Sasuke. I feel bad for him. Sasuke nodded his head and looked at Naruto. Yeah. I think I can understand why he was so attached to Zabuza. After Itachi killed everyone, I latched onto the idea of avenging the clan and killing him. Without that goal, I think I might have felt pathless like Haku. Naruto nodded. Yeah. The old man, Iruka-sensei, old man Tuka, and Ayam were the first people who acknowledged me when I was alone. If someone like Zabuza had acknowledged me before any of them. He looked back to Haku. I probably would have been just like him. Sasuke put his hand on Naruto's shoulder. Well, you aren't alone anymore. You have all of them, Sakura, Kakashi, and you have me. He told Naruto with an uncharacteristic smile. Naruto gave a small smile. Yeah, I know. He said, then looked over at Kakashi, who was talking with Tajuna. Kaka-sensei. He shouted, getting Kakashi's attention and causing him to walk over to the two boys. Naruto pointed at Haku, and then over to Zabuza. We should give them good burials. They were trying to kill us, but Gato was the one paying them. They were both shinobi. Naruto told Kakashi. He really is just like you, sensei. Even if he has Kushina's personality more than he has yours. Kakashi thought with an eye smile. Yeah, I was going to suggest the same thing. Kakashi told him. The three of them stood there for a bit, until a voice called out Naruto. They looked over and saw Inari standing next to his grandfather. Naruto ran over to them, with Sasuke following behind. Kakashi walked over to Zabuza's body and picked up the executioner's blade, before going back to join the others. When Naruto reached Inari, Inari hugged him. Thank you. Inari told Naruto, who just smiled. Grandpa told me you were the one who took Gato out. You're so cool. How did you do it? Inari asked. Oh, I put him in a genjutsu. Made him think he saw me turn into a demon. Naruto told Inari. Inari stared up at Naruto, obviously confused. What's a genjutsu? Naruto scratched the back of his head. How do I explain this? I basically put him in a forced dream, I guess? I dunno. Someone else could probably explain it better than me, I can only do them because of my eyes. Naruto told Inari, and activated his Sharingan to show Inari. Inari stared at him, wide-eyed. Whoa. Those are cool. I saw your eyes turn red when you yelled at me, but I didn't realize they had powers. Inari exclaimed. Oh, yeah. Heh, sorry about that. Naruto laughed. I sometimes activate them unintentionally when I'm upset, you know. Naruto told Inari. Oh, Sasuke has them too. Naruto said, and turned to Sasuke. Show him. Sasuke sighed and reactivated his Sharingan to show Inari. Whoa. Inari turned to Sakura. Do you have them too? He asked. Sakura sighed and shook her head. No, but Kakashi-sensei has one. Inari looked up at Kakashi. You do? Can you show me? Kakashi lifted his headband up so Inari could see his Sharingan. Mine isn't as good as theirs, though. I can't deactivate it, so I keep it covered. Kakashi explained, and recovered his eye. Naruto and Sasuke followed his example and deactivated their own. Whoa. Why can't you deactivate it? And why do you only have one? Inari asked Kakashi. It's an Uchiha thing. Sasuke told Inari, who turned to him with a questioning look. The Sharingan, that's what our eyes are called, is a power my clan has. Me and Naruto are Uchiha and awakened our Sharingan naturally, so we can activate and deactivate them, but Kakashi was given his, so his doesn't deactivate. Sasuke explained to Inari. Oh. That's really cool. Does everyone in your clan? Inari started to ask, but Tajuna covered his grandson's mouth and Inari just made muffled noises. Tajuna bent down to his grandson's ear. They're the last of their clan, everyone else was killed. He whispered to Inari, whose eyes widened. Sorry about that. He's a kid and didn't know. Tajuna apologized for his grandson. Naruto just waved it off. Don't worry about it. I wouldn't expect a kid to know. Naruto told him, and Sasuke nodded in agreement. Kakashi looked at the two young Uchiha. While we're on the topic of Sharingan, did I notice another Tomo in both of yours? Kakashi asked. Naruto and Sasuke both activated their Sharingan and looked at each other. Oh yeah. I almost forgot. It's really cool, I could see the attacks before they actually happened. Naruto said, and Sasuke nodded in agreement. Yeah, I've heard about the predictive abilities of the Sharingan, but that was even more amazing than I thought it'd be. Sasuke agreed. Kakashi gave both of his students an eye smile. Right? And your Sharingan take way less chakra than mine. Honestly. I'm a bit jealous. Kakashi told them, and Naruto laughed. Yeah, that probably sucks. But you still have more experience using it than me or Sasuke. Naruto told his sensei. Yeah, but I doubt it'll take you too long to catch up and surpass me. Kakashi admitted with an eye smile. And if you don't, I would have failed as a sensei. Your father would never forgive me if I didn't pass all my skills onto you. Sakura, who'd been just listening to the conversation, gave Kakashi a confused look at the last part. You knew Naruto's father, Kakashi-sensei. I thought he didn't know who his parents were. Sakura asked. Oh yeah, I still haven't told you. It's a secret, so I'll tell you later. Naruto told Sakura, who still looked confused but shrugged. By now, most of the civilians had gone back to their homes, and most of the unconscious workers woke up. Gato was still unconscious, and Kakashi tied him up and wrote a letter for the Hokage, which he gave to one of his dogs and sent to Konoha. The bridge workers were all thanking the ninja, until Tajuna ordered them to get back to work. Kakashi was low on chakra after his fight with Zabuza, but Naruto and Sasuke were mostly fine, except for a few senbon injuries on one of Sasuke's legs. Sakura was perfectly fine, as she was just protecting Tajuna the whole time. After a few hours, a few Umbu showed up and took Gato back to the leaf, along with Zabuza's sword. Gato woke up once, but Naruto knocked him out with another genjutsu. Tajuna and the workers finished for the day a little after that, and everyone headed home to get some rest. There wasn't much more work to be done on the bridge, so Team 7 would be able to head back to Konoha soon. Naruto, Sasuke, Kakashi, and Sakura gave Zabuza and Haku a proper burial before heading back to Tajuna's house. The next day, Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, and Kakashi were all standing on the newly finished bridge, and they were all saying their goodbyes to Tajuna, Tsunami, and Inari. So, what are you gonna name the bridge? Naruto asked Tajuna, who gave him a smile. I was thinking about calling it the Great Naruto Bridge. After all, you are the one who took down Gato. Tajuna told him. Naruto grinned sheepishly and rubbed the back of his head. Well, I couldn't have done it without Sasuke helping me against Haku. What about the Great Uchiha Bridge, so that it includes both of us? Naruto asked, and Sasuke elbowed him. Don't listen to the idiot, he's just being humble. I think that the Great Naruto Bridge is a great name. Sasuke told Tajuna, who gave a Naruto-like grin. Then it's settled. This is the official opening of the Great Naruto Bridge. Tajuna declared, and Sasuke smirked while Naruto grinned. Ah, well, we should get going. Kakashi told them with an eye smile. Who better than Naruto himself to be the first one to cross the Great Naruto Bridge? Naruto looked over at Inari, who was obviously fighting back tears. Hey, Inari, it's okay to cry when you're happy, you know. Naruto told him, and Inari stopped fighting back the tears. You should all visit the village at some point. It'd be great to see all of you again. He told them, and Tajuna and Tsunami smiled at him. I'll be sure to remind them to visit. Tsunami told him, and ruffled Inari's hair. Make sure you do. Naruto told her. Alright, well, bye. Naruto said, and waved at them. Bye. Tajuna, Tsunami, and Inari all told the ninja. Kakashi, Sakura, and Sasuke all returned the goodbye and began walking down the bridge. After a few minutes of walking down the bridge in silence, Sakura spoke up. So, what did you mean about your father being a secret? Sakura asked Naruto. Naruto gave Kakashi a questioning glance, and Kakashi nodded an okay. Well, my father is Minato Namikaze, you know. Naruto told Sakura. Minato Namikaze. Sakura echoed, and then it clicked. Your dad was she started, but Sasuke covered her mouth. Not too loud, it's a pretty big secret. Iwagakure would be pissed if they heard the yellow flash had a son. Sasuke told her, and removed his hand. Sakura blinked a few times. Sasuke's hand was over my mouth. She thought. Cha! Take that Ino pig! Inner Sakura screamed in her head. Then, she remembered the conversation they were having. Your father was the Yondaime Hokage? Sakura asked, shocked. Naruto nodded his head. Yeah. And my mom was Kushina Uzumaki. He told her. Sakura looked at him, confused. Wait. If your father is Minato Namikaze, and your mother is an Uzumaki, then how are you an Uchiha? She asked. Apparently Minato-sensei was an Uchiha. Kakashi told her. Sakura blinked a few more times. The Yondaime was an Uchiha? Wait, and Kakashi's teacher was the Yondaime. Naruto's father taught Kakashi. Yep. And you can't tell anyone about any of this. Naruto said. At least, you can't say anything until the old man decides I'm strong enough to protect myself. Sakura looked at him in a whole new light. Huh. Now that I think about it, you do look a lot like the photos I've seen of the Yondaime. How did I never notice? Why doesn't everyone notice? Sakura asked. Sasuke grunted. There's a lot of things people don't notice when you ignore someone's existence. Sasuke mumbled, once again confusing Sakura. Ignore someone's existence. She echoed, and looked at Naruto. Ah, don't worry about it, Sakura. Naruto told her, and silence fell over the group. Kakashi was just listening to most of the conversation. It seems like Sasuke really cares for Naruto. And it seems like Sakura is beginning to realize there's more to him than meets the eye. Kakashi thought. Return to the hidden leaf. Just outside of Konoha. Team 7 was finally on their way back to the village, and the village's gate was in view. Naruto was talking, loudly, with Sasuke while Kakashi read his orange book. Sakura was watching Naruto and Sasuke, still thinking about the conversation from the start of their journey back. Naruto, the dead last of our class, is an Uchiha and the son of the Yondaime Hokage? And he's as strong as Sasuke? Is everyone from our class that strong? Will I always be a drag on these two? Sakura thought, and turned to look at her sensei. Kakashi-sensei? She asked. Kakashi looked up from his book at the girl of the group. Yeah, Sakura. Sakura looked back to the two boys one more time, before turning back to her sensei. Could you give me some extra training, now that we're nearly back to the village? Sakura asked, and Kakashi gave her an eye smile. I was wondering when you were going to ask me that. Kakashi told her, and she started to smile. However, I'm afraid I'm going to be too busy training those two, he said, and her face fell. She opened her mouth to speak, but Kakashi beat her to it. So, I was going to ask someone better suited to your needs to train you personally. Kakashi finished, and her smile returned. Really? Who? Sakura asked him. Kakashi tapped his masked chin a few times. Well, I was thinking of asking teammates Jonin-sensei, Kurane. Since her team members are all part of major clans, they're all trained in their clan styles and Kurane only gets to do teamwork training and take them out on missions. I think Kurane would love to train a young kunoichi, especially one with chakra control as good as you. Kakashi told her. Sakura looked excited at the idea, but she still had a few questions. Isn't she the genjutsu specialist? Would that really be useful on a team with 2, 3 counting you, Sharingan users? Sakura asked. Kakashi shook his head. Maybe, but Kurane is a jonin, she doesn't only know genjutsu. She became a special jonin off of her genjutsu skills, but she still later met the requirements to be a full jonin. Plus, the Sharingan doesn't allow the user to use genjutsu over an area. It's good for one-on-ones, but not so much for groups. Since you're working with 2 Sharingan users, who can see through genjutsu, you'd be able to put a genjutsu over a large area without worrying about it interfering with your teammates. Sakura's eyes widened in excitement. Ah. So can you ask Kurane-sensei to train me once we're back to the village? Sakura asked. Kakashi nodded his head. Yeah. I always wanted to get you more training, but I didn't want to force it on you. I was just waiting for you to approach me about the subject. Though, I am sorry that I can't train you personally. To be honest, I'm not really all that great for training genin. They're Sharingan, he said, and motioned to the boys ahead. Are the only reason I know how to train them, because I'm one of the few who knows how it works. Kakashi explained. After a few more minutes of walking, with Naruto and Sasuke still talking up ahead, they reached the gate to the village. After checking in with the Chunin at the gate, Kakashi turned to his team. Well, we need to report to the Hokage. Since our mission went so off the rails, he'll want to know about it as much as possible. Kakashi told his team. Naruto smiled at the thought of going to the Hokage's office. Yeah. I can't wait to see the old man, I barely talked to him since becoming a genin. Naruto exclaimed, and Sakura hit the back of his head. Naruto. He's the Hokage, you can't just call him the old man, it's disrespectful. Sakura berated him. Naruto rubbed the back of his head where she hit him. Sakura. He drawled. He's always been fine with me calling him that. And it's not like I knew he was the Hokage the first time I called him that. Naruto told her. After another minute of Naruto and Sakura arguing back and forth about respecting the Hokage, Team 7 headed off to give their report on their train wreck of a mission. Hokage's office. After receiving the full report on what happened in the Land of Waves, Hiruzen Sarutobi was silent. He already had a general idea of what happened, thanks to updates from Kakashi, but the reality of it was More than he thought. Naruto and Sasuke had to kill someone on their first mission out of the village. He seems to be fine, but is he really? Minato. I'm sorry for what's been done to your son. Itachi. I'm sorry your brother had to face this so soon. Hiruzen thought, looking at Naruto and Sasuke. The third member of their team, Sakura, more or less came out of the mission unscathed. The only difference in her was that she had a new desire to train. Ah. Well, I see you all handled yourself very well, especially for genin so fresh out of the academy. Hiruzen told the three genin. Naruto gave one of his bright grins at the praise, while Sasuke gave a smirk and Sakura looked uncertain. Naruto, Sasuke, I'm glad that, despite everything that happened, some good came of this mission. Would you boys mind showing me your Sharingan? Hiruzen asked the two. Naruto continued to grin. Of course, old man. Naruto said as he activated his Sharingan, and Sasuke quickly followed his example. Their eyes both turned red, and 3 Tomo spun into existence in each eye. See, 3 Tomo. We're awesome! Naruto exclaimed, and Hiruzen gave him a grandfatherly smile. That is quite the accomplishment for someone so young, especially for both of you to have it. Hiruzen told them, and turned to look at Kakashi. I assume that you, as their sensei and one of the few with a Sharingan, will be helping them train their now matured Sharingan. Hiruzen asked, though he knew the answer. Kakashi was known for being lazy, but Hiruzen had no doubt he planned on training both of them. Kakashi nodded. Of course, Lord Hokage. Minato-sensei would bite my head off after I die if I slacked off as a sensei. Kakashi joked, and Hiruzen smiled. If not him, you'd also have Kushina to deal with. Hiruzen joked in return, causing Kakashi to scratch the back of his head in a very Naruto-like way. AHH. Yeah. She would probably find a way to kill me all over again. Kakashi laughed awkwardly. Naruto just looked between Kakashi and Hiruzen. Hiruzen had told him who his mother was, shown him a few pictures, and told him a couple of stories from missions, but he didn't really know much about how either of his parents acted. Sasuke and Sakura were also interested, though neither of them had seen any pictures of Kushina. My mother? What was she like? Naruto asked them, and Kakashi smiled. Ah. Kushina Uzumaki. You remind me of her a lot, actually. You got your father's hair and eyes, but you got your mother's face shape and personality. Hiruzen told him, also smiling. Normally he'd be more cautious of talking about Naruto's parents, but Naruto had already told him about telling Sasuke, and the mission report included telling Sakura about Naruto's parents. Sakura decided to speak up. Do you have any pictures of his mom? Since he told me, I've noticed how closely he resembles photos I've seen of his father. Does he really get his face shape from his mother? Sakura asked. Hiruzen smiled and pulled out a picture from his desk. It was a photo of Minato and a pregnant Kushina, both smiling at the camera. Minato had his hands around Kushina, resting on the baby bump of the unborn Naruto. As I'm sure you can guess, Kushina is the redhead, and that's an unborn Naruto. Hiruzen told them, pointing to Kushina's baby bump. Naruto smiled at the photo of him and his parents, looking at the smiles of their faces. Sakura was looking back and forth between the picture and Naruto, while Sasuke just stared at it wide-eyed. Wow, Naruto really does look a lot like both of them. She's very beautiful, too. Sakura said, and then noticed Sasuke's wide eyes. Does Sasuke like Naruto's mother? Is that what he like? Maybe I should die, Sakura thought, but stopped herself before getting too far into that train of thought. Naruto, noticing Sasuke's wide eyes, looked at him with a confused expression. What is it, Sasuke? Naruto asked, snapping Sasuke back to reality. That's the tomato lady. Sasuke murmured softly, getting a laugh from both Kakashi and Hiruzen. AHH. Your lucky Kushina isn't here to hear that. She hated being called a tomato. One time Minato sensei called her that as a joke, and even his speed couldn't save him from her wrath. Kakashi told them, getting a laugh from Naruto. Sasuke shook his head. No, I'm not comparing her to a tomato. My mom had pictures with her a few places around the house, and when I asked for her name my mom just called her the tomato lady. I didn't understand why, though. Sasuke explained. Kakashi nodded his head. AHH, that makes sense. Mikoto and Kushina were really close friends. Mikoto was even one of the few who knew Kushina was pregnant. Kakashi told them. Naruto smiled and put his arms around Sasuke's shoulders. Ha! I bet our moms would love how close we are, we're basically brothers. Naruto told him, and got a smile in return from Sasuke. Yeah, now get your arm off of me. Sasuke told him, but everyone could see that he was still somewhat smiling. Naruto removed his arm from Sasuke's shoulders, also still smiling. Hey, do you think we could go to the Uchiha compound and find some of those photos? If you wouldn't mind going there, of course. But it'd be nice to have some photos of our moms around the apartment, you know? Naruto asked Sasuke. Sasuke thought about it for a few seconds before nodding. Yeah. I think that'd be nice. Sasuke told him. Naruto turned back to look at the Hokage. Well, I think we're gonna get going and do that. CYA, old man. And I'm still gonna be stealing that hat of yours, you know. Naruto said, and turned to walk out of the Hokage's office, followed by Sasuke who just waved his goodbye. The two headed for the old Uchiha compound, leaving Hiruzen, Kakashi, and Sakura in the office. Well, I should go tell my parents I'm back. Bye, Lord Hokage, Kakashi-sensei. Sakura said, and left the office, leaving just Kakashi and Hiruzen. Before Kakashi could follow his students out of the office, Hiruzen stopped him. Kakashi, there are a few things I need to ask and tell you. Hiruzen told him. What is it, Lord Hokage? Kakashi asked with his usual tone of not caring. Hiruzen sighed. I'm sure you're aware, but the Chunin exams are coming up soon. The council is putting on a lot of pressure to ensure that Naruto and Sasuke will be there. The council's opinion of Naruto has risen greatly since we discovered he was an Uchiha and possesses the Sharingan. They want the village's last two Uchiha to participate, to show the village's strength. Will you be nominating your team for the exams? Hiruzen asked Kakashi. Kakashi stayed quiet for a few seconds before nodding. Yeah, I definitely believe Naruto and Sasuke are ready, especially now that they both have the 3 Tomo Sharingan. Kakashi told him. Hiruzen nodded his head. And how about Sakura? Do you believe she is ready? Hiruzen asked, catching on to Kakashi's lack of inclusion. Kakashi sighed. I don't believe so, no. She, finally, just got the actual motivation to survive in the field and train. She only just asked me for training. Hiruzen nodded again. I see. Will this make Naruto and Sasuke unable to take the exams? I know that the Chunin exams are generally only teams of 3, but there have been exceptions. Will Naruto and Sasuke be able to take it as a team of 2? Kakashi asked. Hiruzen stayed quiet for a few moments before answering. Normally, this would make them unable to take the exams. However, like you said, there have been exceptions. Sasuke's own brother, Itachi Uchiha, was one of those exceptions. On top of that, there is also the council. The council wishes for the last 2 Uchiha, Sasuke and Naruto, to take the exams. So, they should be able to enter the exam as a duo, if necessary. Hiruzen explained. Kakashi gave a small bow. Thank you, Lord Hokage. Kakashi said, and begun to leave. However, he was stopped again by the Hokage's words. However, I request that you still give Ms. Harano the option to take the exams. If she feels she is ready, she should be allowed the same opportunity as her teammates. If not, they will be allowed to enter the exams as a duo, assuming they decide to enter the exams, that is. Hiruzen told Kakashi. Of course, Lord Hokage. However, I would be shocked if Naruto or Sasuke chose not to take the exams. Kakashi said with an eye smile. Hiruzen chuckled a bit at that. As would I. Now, there is one last matter I need to tell you about. Hiruzen's tone became serious, and Kakashi could tell it was something important. Yes, Lord Hokage. Kakashi questioned. Hiruzen sighed. It's about Naruto. As he has the Sharingan, I'm sure Danzo will want to get his hands on him. He was always adamant about training the boy, but I was able to hold him off. However, now that news of his Sharingan is getting out, I'm sure Danzo will want to train him and have him take control of the Kyuubi. You have to make sure that doesn't happen. Danzo may try to be sneaky about it, so please let me know if you notice anything. Hiruzen explained. Kakashi nodded. Of course, Lord Hokage. I would never let that man get his hands on one of my students. Kakashi told him, an unusual amount of emotion in his voice. Kakashi knew what Danzo was like, and he knew exactly how much of a monster Danzo was. Hiruzen gave Kakashi a smile. I appreciate that, Kakashi. Now, you are dismissed. Hiruzen told Kakashi, who gave Hiruzen a barely formal bow and left the office. Uchiha compound. Naruto and Sasuke were both entering Sasuke's old home, in search of pictures of their mothers. This place still held bad memories for Sasuke, but having Naruto there eased his mind. Naruto looked around the house, and turned to Sasuke. Do you remember where any of them were? Naruto asked Sasuke, who shook his head. No, it's been years. Though, if it weren't for the dust covering everything, we'd probably be able to spot her bright red hair. Sasuke joked. Naruto laughed a bit, then went to search the house. After a few minutes of searching, Naruto spotted a picture with something that looked like the color red. He walked over to it and blew the dust off, revealing two women. Naruto recognized one of them as his mother, the bright red hair was unmistakable. The other looked shockingly like Sasuke, if he was an adult woman. Sasuke. Naruto called out, and got a "huh" in response. I think I found one. He yelled, and Sasuke came from the other room. Naruto held out the photo he found for Sasuke to see, and Sasuke nodded with a smile. Yeah, that's my mother, Minato Uchiha. Sasuke told Naruto, who grinned. You look a lot like her. Like, exactly. Naruto told him. Sasuke smiled again. Yeah. You'd look exactly like your mom if you had different hair and eyes. The Hokage was right, you definitely have her head shape. Sasuke told him, and it was Naruto's turn to smile. Yeah. They're both beautiful, you know. Let's see if we can find any more. Naruto said, and they went back to searching the house. After a few more minutes, Sasuke called out for Naruto. When Naruto found him, Sasuke held up a photo of a pregnant Kushina with Minato and a baby Sasuke. Minato was holding Sasuke up to Kushina's stomach, and his baby hands were on Kushina's stomach. It's us and our moms. Sasuke stated, though a small smile could be seen on the corners of his mouth. Naruto's smile, however, was much less subtle. That's awesome. We were friends before I was even born. Naruto told him. Sasuke sighed a little, but the small smile was still there. You have a very broad definition of friends. Sasuke said. Naruto just shrugged, his smile dropping a little. Hey, when everyone ignores your existence, you take what you can get. He told Sasuke, who put a hand on his shoulder. Well, you aren't alone anymore. And, according to this photo, You never were. Sasuke reassured him, and Naruto's full smile returned. Now, let's find some more photos. Naruto and Sasuke went back to searching and, after a few minutes, Naruto heard the sound of a crash from the other room. When he went to check it out, he found Sasuke standing over a broken frame, Sharingan spinning. When Naruto checked what the photo was, he saw that it was a picture of their family. Fugaku on the right, Itachi on the left, with Minato and Sasuke in the middle. Based on Sasuke and Itachi's apparent age, it wasn't long before the massacre. What stood out the most, though, was the faces. Minato and Sasuke both had straight faces, but they at least looked happy. Itachi and Fugaku, however, seemed upset. Sasuke was staring at the photo, his Sharingan unintentionally active. He'd seen other photos of Itachi, sure, but he was able to ignore those. This one, however, was shortly before the massacre. It was from when he was obliviously happy. He barely even noticed when Naruto entered, and didn't react to Naruto until he heard Naruto's voice and felt Naruto's hand on his shoulder. Sasuke. He heard, and looked up to see Naruto, whose Sharingan was also active. It's alright. Naruto told him, but he could tell that Naruto was pissed too. How could anyone do what he did, was the only thing going through Naruto's mind. He didn't know his clan, but it was still important to him. We'll find him, and we'll find out why he turned out the way he did. And, once we find out why, we'll kill him. Sasuke stared into Naruto's Sharingan, and he could see the sincerity. As Sasuke looked at his best friend, at his true brother, Itachi's words ran through his mind. You must kill your closest friend. He continued to look at Naruto's Sharingan, and couldn't help but think of Itachi's. Naruto has the same eyes as any of us. But he's so much brighter. I remember Itachi's friend, Shisui, and he was like this. How could Itachi kill him? For power? To test his skills? There has to be something else, right? Sasuke thought, and deactivated his Sharingan. Yeah, you're right. Sasuke told Naruto, who deactivated his Sharingan in response. Do you want to leave now, or do you want to look for some more pictures? Naruto asked. Sasuke thought about it for a bit before answering. I think I want to look for more pictures. He told Naruto, who smiled. After another 20 minutes of searching, they were only able to find a few more, and they decided to leave back to their apartment. Naruto and Sasuke's apartment. Naruto and Sasuke got back to their apartment, and they decided to put the photos around their home. Luckily, they were already in frames and just needed to be dusted off. Where should we put this one? Naruto asked Sasuke, who looked around the apartment. How about by the TV? Sasuke asked. Naruto walked over to it, and put the photo on the right side of the TV. It was the photo of pregnant Kushina, Minato, and baby Sasuke. On the left side was the photo they took with Kakashi and Sakura as Team 7. Naruto was grinning like crazy, per usual, on the left. Sakura was in the middle, leaned forward and smiling. Sasuke was on the right, giving his signature smirk. Kakashi was standing behind them, his hands on both Naruto's head and Sasuke's head. After Naruto put that photo down, they finished putting the rest around the apartment, and headed off to their rooms for sleep. Training Ground 7. The next morning Naruto and Sasuke headed to Training Ground 7, where Kakashi asked their team to meet. They were both a little late, but they didn't expect Kakashi to be there for another few hours anyways. However, once they reached the training ground, they were surprised by what they saw. Kurane and Sakura were both at the training ground, but that wasn't what was unusual. Kurane being there was unexpected, but not as unusual as the other thing. The unusual thing was that Kakashi was already there, not late, and reading his book. Kakashi looked up at the two latecomers with an eye smile. You're late, he stated, and went back to his book. Sasuke opened his mouth to explain why they were late, but Naruto beat him to it. "Ah, sorry Kaka-sensei. There was this little old lady who asked us to help with her groceries, and then she made us cookies and it would have been rude to decline," Naruto told him with a smirk, and Kakashi had to fight back a laugh. Kurane paid the newcomers no mind. She expected at least one of Kakashi's students to pick up his bad habits, and was just glad Sakura hadn't. Kakashi couldn't help but think of Obito when he heard Naruto's excuse. They're so alike. Their clothes, their attitudes, and they're both so different from other Uchiha. Kakashi thought. Oh well, I can't fault you for that, now can I? Kakashi asked, sarcastically. Anyways, I'm going to start training you how to really use those Sharingan of yours. Kurane will be training Sakura whenever she has the time, and I'll be training the two of you. Kakashi explained, and both Naruto and Sasuke became excited. Naruto and Sasuke both activated their Sharingan, obviously excited, and then they both found themselves on the ground with aching faces. What the dash? Naruto tried to ask, but they now saw Kakashi standing over them. Naruto and Sasuke tried to scramble back, but Kakashi sent them both flying. They landed with a thud, and looked over to see Kakashi standing there as if he hadn't just launched them 20 feet. What the hell, Kaka-sensei? Naruto screamed. Kakashi just looked over at them with a sadistic smile, not that they could see it under his mask. Naruto. You're the ones who wanted to train, right? Well, what's more efficient than a one-sided battle with someone better than you? Kakashi asked, and was on them again before they could respond. This time, however, they were able to almost dodge his strikes. They tried to counterattack, but even with their Sharingan it was useless. And Kakashi wasn't even using his Sharingan. How were they supposed to learn by having a Jonin hand them their asses? Before they could ask themselves any more questions, they were under attack again. Sakura looked over at her sensei and her teammates, and watched as Kakashi ruthlessly beat them into the ground. Then she looked back to her current teacher, and was grateful to be trained by someone other than Kakashi. At first she was a little jealous, but that quickly went away when she saw his training methods, if they could be called that. Kurane was explaining genjutsu to her, and giving her a detailed explanation on how to train when Kurane was unavailable. Kurane was focusing on genjutsu theory first, then she would focus on genjutsu practice. 2 hours later. After 2 hours of training, which the genin decided was more like torture, Sasuke was immobile on the ground and Naruto was barely standing on his feet. Kakashi was ruthless, and they finally understood how their sensei was an ex-Umbu captain. Sakura had moved on to practicing genjutsu with Kurane, but she was still at a very low level. Kakashi walked over to where his two students were, barely even winded. That was good for a first day, Kakashi told them, and Naruto smiled weakly. Sasuke was too exhausted to even move his face. You are a monster. Kaka-sensei, Naruto gasped out between breaths. Sasuke tried to nod his head in agreement, but he physically could not move anything but his eyes. Kurane and Sakura were both looking over at the exhausted genin and the monstrous jonin. I bet you're glad you have me training you, instead of him, Kurane told Sakura, who nodded her head violently. Kakashi smiled at the two exhausted genin. Rest up for a bit. After you're both at least vertical dash, he started, and blew air at Naruto to make him fall. We'll work on your Sharingan, Kakashi told them, and pulled out his book while the two genin rested up. Naruto and Sasuke just kept laying on the ground, breathing hardly. Naruto, who was in a slightly better condition than Sasuke, turned his head to look at his fellow Uchiha. I think we may have made a mistake, he gasped out between breaths. Sasuke, still unable to speak, barely moved his head in agreement. Sakura just looked over at her teammates with pity. After around 30 minutes, the two Uchiha were somewhat recovered. Naruto more than Sasuke, thanks to his Uzumaki and Kuwabai recovery abilities. That was when Kakashi looked up from his book and walked over to stand in front of the pair. Naruto and Sasuke instinctively flinched when he approached them, and Kakashi gave them an eye smile. "Alright, now show me your Sharingan," he instructed, and the two Uchiha complied. Their eyes turned red, and 3 tomo appeared in each eye. "As you both know, my Sharingan is inferior to yours," Kakashi started, and removed the forehead protector covering his Sharingan. "Due to that, I'm unable to use it to the same extent you two are. Despite that, I became famous because of my usage of the Sharingan. As it stands now, I can use my Sharingan better than either of you, despite the disadvantages mine possesses," Kakashi explained, closing his right eye so only his Sharingan was visible. "Yeah, but you're like way older than us, you know," Naruto argued. Kakashi sighed. "I'm not that old. I'm only 26. Kakashi told them, and Naruto nodded his head. "Yeah, and we're 12. That's over twice our age," Naruto yelled, surprising everyone with how he can already be this energetic. Kakashi sighed again, this time in defeat. "I guess," he admitted. "Though, I was around your age when I got my Sharingan. And, by then, I was already a Jonin," Kakashi told them, getting the expected looks of surprise. Even Sakura, who could hear their conversation, was shocked. The training ground was silent for a few seconds, before one loud scream broke the silence. "What?" Naruto shouted in disbelief. Sasuke continued to stare at his sensei in barely veiled shock. He was already a Jonin when he was given his Sharingan? At 12? I assumed he became strong because of the dojutsu of my clan, but he was already further along than either me or Naruto are now. Sasuke thought, gaining a new respect for Kakashi Hatake. After giving them some time to process what he said, Kakashi continued. "Exactly. Despite not being a natural Sharingan user, I have effectively used it and made a name for myself over the past 14 years. So, as you could probably guess, I have many tricks that will help you to learn the Sharingan. For the next few weeks, I will be training you to become masters of the Sharingan. I will train you on both using the Sharingan on your own, and on using the Sharingan to work together," Kakashi told them, and both Naruto and Sasuke seemed excited despite their exhaustion. Naruto raised his hand. "Kaka-sensei? I have a question." Kakashi nodded at him to go on. "Why did you beat us up so much if you were just gonna train our Sharingan?" Naruto asked, and Kakashi gave him an eye smile, but with both eyes instead of one this time. "I wanted to see where you two are at. If I had to rank you, I'd say those Sharingan of yours make you high genin to mid genin level," Kakashi explained, and Naruto nodded in understanding, while Sasuke smirked. "Also, it was fun," Kakashi told them, still eye smiling, making both Uchiha face fault. "Kaka-sensei." Naruto whined, and then flinched when Kakashi made a sudden movement towards him. Ma, Naruto. Don't be so on edge. You don't really think I'd hurt my cute little genin, do you?" Kakashi asked, his usual eye smile somehow seeming sinister. Naruto just looked at him in fear. "En no ke Kaka-sensei." Kakashi then turned to Sasuke, who flinched like Naruto. "How about you, Sasuke?" he asked with the same sinister eye smile. Sasuke, usually stoic, couldn't help but act like Naruto. "En no, ke Kakashi." Sasuke stuttered out, and Kakashi raised an eyebrow. "Ke Kakashi-sensei." He corrected himself, trying to avoid another beating. "Alright, my cute little genin. Let's get to work," Kakashi said, and began to train them in usage of the Sharingan. Kakashi wasn't an Uchiha, So naturally he didn't have all the skills an Uchiha would be taught, but he wasn't lacking in his own skills. Plus, Itachi Uchiha had taught him a few tricks during their time together in the Umbu. He wouldn't tell the two where he got the skills from, but they would benefit from the skills regardless. He would pass on as many of his Sharingan skills as he could in the next 2 weeks, and for the third week he would focus on the other skills that would benefit the pair in the Chunin exams. Tracking, stealth, and, of course, taijutsu and ninjutsu. 2 weeks later, the Hokage was in a room, and all the Jonin sensei were standing in front of him. They were there to nominate their students for the Chunin exams. Alright, first, will the Jonin in charge of the rookie team step forward? Hiruzen requested. Kakashi Hatake, Asuma Sarutobi, and Kurane Yoi all stepped forward. Kakashi, Asuma, Kurane, are there any on your team you feel are ready for the exams, despite their inexperience? Hiruzen asked. As you know, any genin who has carried out 8 or more missions is technically eligible for the exams. Beyond that, only you can decide if they're eligible. So, Kakashi, you begin. Kakashi raised 2 of his fingers in front of his masked mouth. I lead Squad 7. Sasuke Uchiha, Naruto Uzumaki Uchiha, Sakura Harano. I, Kakashi Hatake, recommend all 3 of these genin for the Chunin selection exams. Kurane went next. And my squad is number 8. Hinata Hyuga, Kiba Inyazuka, Shino Abarame. And now I, Kurane Yui, recommend all 3. Asuma went third. And my squad is number 10. Ino Yamanaka, Shikamaru Nara, Koji Akimichi. And now I, Asuma Sarutobi, recommend all 3. There was a short silence following these recommendations, and it was closely followed by murmurs. It wasn't often that rookie genin were nominated for the Chunin exams, and even less often that all 9 rookie genin were. The murmurs were broken by Irika Umino, the former teacher of the rookie genin. Hold on just a minute. Irika demanded. Yes, what is it, Irika? Hiruzen asked, though he could already guess what was coming. Lord Hokage, with all respect, the 9 names that were just given were all my students at the academy. I know their skills and abilities. Every one of them has great promise, but it's too soon. They need more experience before they are tested. If they try now, they are sure to fail the exam. Irika told the Hokage. All 3 Jonin sensei were turned around now, and all looking at Irika. Kakashi was the one to speak. When I became a Chunin, I was 6 years younger than Naruto is now. Kakashi explained. Naruto is nothing like you. Irika exclaimed. Kakashi stayed silent for a few seconds, before he lifted up the forehead protector to reveal his 3 Tomo Sharingan. Isn't he? If anything, I'd say both he and Sasuke could very well have become better than I was by now, under proper instruction. I haven't been their Jonin sensei for as long as you taught them, but they've both shown drastic improvement. Both now have 3 Tomo Sharingan. And they hadn't even had their 2 Tomo Sharingan for very long before reaching the 3rd stage. Kakashi explained, shocking everyone but Asuma, Kurane, and Hiruzen. Murmurs spread around the room again, and Irika was silent. 3 Tomo Sharingan. Naruto is on the same level as Sasuke. Were some of the murmurs spreading around the room. Hiruzen cleared his throat, silencing the room. Is that all, Kakashi? Irika? Hiruzen asked. Kakashi seemed content to go back to the meeting, but Irika wasn't. No. I don't care how good their eyes are, they still need training and experience before they can take the exams. Irika stated. Kakashi sighed. What kind of training would suffice? Would training by a fellow Sharingan user for 2 weeks straight suffice? What if that Sharingan user was an experienced Jonin of the village? Kakashi asked, and Irika couldn't think of an argument. Kakashi turned back to the Hokage. Please continue, Lord Hokage. he said with a bow, and Hiruzen continued the meeting, now taking nominations from the elder genin teams. Elsewhere in the village, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura were all walking together down the village. Kakashi and Kurane had given them some time off, as all the Jonin sensei had a meeting with the Hokage. As they were walking, they all noticed a weird, moving, square box. Sakura seemed confused, but Naruto and Sasuke both knew exactly who was in the box. Naruto sighed. "Come out, Konohamaru." Naruto told the box, which shot off with fireworks, and 3 coughing kids came out of the box. Konohamaru, Mogi, and Udon. All 3 were coughing from the smoke, and Konohamaru apologized to his friends before standing up to face Naruto. "Just as I'd expect from my rival, boss." And Konohamaru started and turned to Sasuke. "Other boss." Sasuke sighed. "Konohamaru. That is a terrible disguise," he told the boy. Konohamaru scratched the back of his head. "Oh, well," he turned to look at Sakura. "Is she dating one of you?" he asked. Sakura turned as pink as her hair and looked at Sasuke. "He thinks we're," she started to think, but was cut off. "No," Sasuke said simply. Konohamaru laughed. "Ahaha. Thought not. No one with such a big forehead and such a flat dash," Konohamaru started, but Naruto quickly covered his mouth. However, it was too late. Naruto looked Konohamaru in the eyes and told him one word. "Run." Konohamaru looked confused, then he looked at Sakura, who was ready to punch him to next week, and ran away, followed by Sakura. Naruto, Sasuke, and the other 2 kids just walked in the direction that Konohamaru and Sakura ran, until they heard Konohamaru scream. Naruto and Sasuke shared a look. Sakura was mad, but she'd never make a kid scream like that. They both activated their Sharingan, 3 tomo spinning to life in each eye, and ran to where they heard the scream. When they reached Konohamaru, they saw him being held up by a kid in a catsuit with purple face paint on. To his side was a girl with blonde hair and a giant fan on her back. Sakura was standing in front of them, surprised. Naruto walked up to the group, Sharingan spinning. "Let the kid go," he demanded. Kankuro, the kid holding up Konohamaru, scoffed. "Yeah? You gonna make dash," he started, and then looked up and saw Naruto's spinning eyes. "The hell?" he asked, and Tamari, the blonde girl, nudged him. "That's the Sharingan, Kankuro. The legendary dojutsu of the Uchiha. Though, I've never heard of an Uchiha with blonde hair," Tamari explained, eyeing Naruto curiously. Kankuro gave a short laugh. "The Uchiha? Isn't that the clan that was wiped out in a single night by one person?" Kankuro asked, trying to get a rise out of Naruto. However, he wasn't prepared for what happened when Naruto did get upset. It was just for a second, but the siblings knew the feeling. For a second, Naruto's chakra spiked, his Sharingan temporarily turned slitted, and his whisker marks thickened. Anyone else would have written it off as a trick on their eyes, but these 2 siblings knew better. Kankuro dropped Konohamaru, who quickly rushed behind Naruto, and both Tamari and Kankuro backed up. Only 2 others in the area noticed the quick change. Sasuke could visibly see the chakra spike with his Sharingan, and knew about Naruto's status. And the other person? A kid in red hair appeared in a swirl of sand in front of Tamari and Kankuro, and they both backed up even more. "Gee, Gaara!" Tamari stuttered. Gaara didn't pay any attention to his siblings, his focus was on the red-eyed man in front of him. The red eyes weren't what interested him, though. What interested him was the very familiar spike of chakra he felt. You will prove my existence," Gaara said, ominously, before turning and walking away. Tamari and Kankuro shakily followed after him, looking between Gaara and Naruto in fear. Naruto and Sasuke both deactivated their Sharingan once the trio was out of sight, and Naruto looked down at Konohamaru, You okay, Konohamaru? Naruto asked the boy, who was obviously still shaken. Kankuro nodded his head. Why yet? He stuttered out, and Naruto gave him a smile. Okay, just be careful for a bit, you know. Naruto told him, and Konohamaru nodded his head. Alright, well, I gotta talk to Sasuke. You should apologize to Sakura. Naruto walked over to where Sasuke was, while Konohamaru apologized to Sakura. Naruto looked at Sasuke, uncharacteristically serious and quiet. The two of them walked further away from the others, before Sasuke turned to Naruto. Was that? Sasuke asked Naruto, who nodded. Yeah. I think it was. Though, I don't know why. I was angry, but I wasn't that angry. Nothing like that has happened to me before. It's like something in me reacted as soon as I felt that red-haired kid. Naruto explained. Sasuke nodded. Yeah. There's something off about that guy. He agreed. Naruto just went back to his normal self, and started smiling stupidly. Oh well, we'll find out at some point. No reason to stress about it now. The blonde girl was pretty though, you know. Naruto told Sasuke, whose sweat dropped at the sudden change. You really should be more serious about stuff like this, idiot. Sasuke said, and Naruto just laughed. Ah, we can't all be as emo as you. Naruto said, still laughing. HN. Sasuke grunted. After that, they both headed back over to Sakura. The trio of genin continued to hang out and talk, though the talking was mainly Naruto and Sakura. They got some food, Ichiraku at Naruto's insistence, before going back to their homes. The next day, Sakura was waiting on the bridge for her teammates, Naruto and Sasuke, and her sensei, Kakashi. Kakashi had been on time for the past 2 weeks. He didn't want to miss Naruto and Sasuke's training, but he was apparently back to his old habits. Even worse, apparently Naruto and Sasuke picked up his habit. Kurane wasn't here today. She said she had a meeting with her own team, so Sakura was waiting on the bridge, alone. Naruto and Sasuke arrived before Kakashi. They both looked like they'd just gotten out of bed, and their hair was even more messy than usual. Naruto rubbed the back of his head sheepishly when he saw Sakura's irritation. Sorry. We got lost on the road. Naruto started, but he was cut off. You're late. Sakura shouted, and punched Naruto in the arm. Her training with Kurane allowed the punch to actually somewhat hurt Naruto. Not nearly as much as the hurt from Kakashi over the past 3 weeks, but it didn't tickle. Naruto rubbed his arm where Sakura hit him and looked up at her. Why'd you only punch me? Sasuke was just as late as me. Naruto complained. Sakura looked at Sasuke, and then back at Naruto. He's Sasuke. Plus, he was probably only late because of you, Naruto. Sakura argued. She'd gotten better at treating Sasuke like a normal human, but hey, she was still Sakura. Sasuke just shrugged in response. We actually both slept in. It's the first time in weeks that Kakashi didn't make us wake at the crack of dawn, and I guess we got carried away. He explained, and Naruto stuck his tongue out at Sakura. Oh. Well, that doesn't explain why Naruto used an excuse like Kakashi-sensei would. Sakura argued. Kakashi chose this moment to show up in a shunshin. Naruto and Sakura both shouted, "You're late." Sakura turned to Naruto with an irritated expression on her face. "You were late too." She yelled at Naruto, and he had to dodge another punch. "Ah, sorry, I got lost on the road of life." Kakashi excused, and Naruto started laughing. "What is it, Naruto?" he asked, and Naruto brought his laughter to a stop. "I just used that excuse, sensei," Naruto told him, and Kakashi had to fight back a laugh. "Wow, you really are a lot like Obito," Kakashi told him. Naruto had a confused look on his face, trying to remember where he'd heard the name, before he remembered. Oh. He was your teammate who gave you your Sharingan, right? Naruto asked. Kakashi nodded at his question. Yeah, he was eternally late, dressed like you, and even shared your dream of being Hokage. Kakashi explained, and Naruto grinned. Well, since he can't do it, I guess I'll have to be Hokage for the both of us. Naruto announced, and Kakashi let an actual smile spread across his face, even if they couldn't see it through his mask. Kakashi, remembering why he asked them to meet him, pulled out 3 pieces of paper. Alright, anyways, I asked you 3 here because of the upcoming Chunin exams. Kakashi explained, getting 3 confused looks from the genin, though Sasuke's was at least masked by the trademark Uchiha stoicism. Chunin exams. Naruto echoed, voicing the question they all had. Kakashi nodded. In a week, there will be an exam to determine which genin will progress onto being Chunin. It's why the 3 of you have been trained over the past 2 weeks, and will be continued to be trained for the next week. Kakashi told the team, getting looks of excitement and anticipation from Naruto and Sasuke. Sakura looked unsure. Naruto was grinning in excitement. You really think we're ready, Kaka-sensei? Naruto asked. Kakashi gave his student an eye smile. Of course I do. Though, that doesn't mean you have to take it. Kakashi told them, but it was mainly aimed at Sakura. Here are the forms. Sign these and show up at the location listed in a week's time. I will continue to train you for the next week, even if you choose not to take the exams. He said, and handed the forms to the 3 genin. Naruto and Sasuke both took the forms quickly, and Sakura hesitated a bit before grabbing hers. Thanks, Kaka-sensei. Naruto gave Kakashi a look of appreciation, and even Sasuke almost looked appreciative. Kakashi's eye smile turned sinister, somehow, and he cracked his knuckles. Now that that's out of the way, I'd suggest putting those forms up. We've worked on your Sharingan for the past 2 weeks, but now we'll work on Taijutsu. Kakashi told them, and the boys' faces instantly changed from appreciation to fear. Sakura looked at them with mirth, before Kakashi turned his attention to her. Since Kurane isn't with you right now, you'll be training with me until she comes around. He told Sakura, and her expression instantly changed to be even more fearful than her teammates. After allowing them to put up the forms, Kakashi trained them, but they still agreed it was more like torture. Sakura participated, though she was getting nicer treatment than the boys, until Kurane showed up for her personalized training. 1 week later, Sakura, Naruto, and Sasuke were all standing in front of the location given on the forms. Naruto and Sasuke both had theirs signed, but Sakura looked at the boys apologetically. I'm sorry. She apologized to the boys, and held up her own form to show it wasn't signed. I'm not ready to take this exam, she told them, and Naruto gave her a warm smile. It's alright, Sakura. It's better for you to confidently take it some other time than for you to take it now without being confident, Naruto told her, and Sasuke made a HN sound in agreement. Sakura looked at them, appreciating Naruto's words but still feeling bad. But if most of the other teams are teams of 3, you guys will be a member down, she told them. Naruto just gave a Sasuke-like smirk, his Uchiha side shining through for once. Don't worry. Kakashi trained us into the ground for 3 weeks straight. I'm sure we'll be fine as a duo, he reassured Sakura, who gave him a smile. It was true, and she'd seen it happening. The first 2 weeks were mainly spent on training their Sharingan. The first week was mainly focused on the physical aspect, or the eye of insight, which allows them to copy jutsu, movement, and read a person's actions. The second week was mainly focused on the mental aspect, or the eye of hypnotism, which is the genjutsu aspect of the Sharingan. They still weren't anywhere near Kakashi's level with either skill, but they had improved. The final week was mainly practical, non-Sharingan skills. He beat them into the ground with taijutsu, taught them stealth, and taught them tracking. Again, none of those skills were anywhere close to his level, but they were definitely on par with most Chunin. Sasuke turned to Naruto. "We should get going. You may have picked up Kakashi's habit of being late, which usually makes me late too, but this isn't something we should be late for." Sasuke told Naruto, a hint of annoyance at the habit he picked up. Naruto grinned and sheepishly scratched the back of his head. "Yeah, I guess you're right," he said, and they headed into the building to start the exams, with Sakura wishing them good luck from outside.